The one thing we didn't mention is the alien's tiny penis and scrotum. That was some crazy visual effects up on the top. He's got a little tiny penis and a wobbly scrotum.
I think I was a little distracted by the entrails that were, spewed out.
Welcome to Peacemaker, the official podcast with James Gunn, who happens to be me. I am the director, along with other directors, writer, creator of the Peacemaker TV show. I am here with my wonderful co-hosts, Jennifer Holland and Steve Agee.
Hi, I'm Jen Holland. I play Emilia Harcourt.
I'm Steve Agee. I play John Economos.
And the Peacemaker podcast is a place to go to hear behind-the-scenes stories. We talk about how we made this stuff. And you hear about the music. We talk about that. We talk about Easter eggs. We answer fan questions and so much more.
Today we're talking Season 2, Episode 4. It's entitled Need I Say Door? That rhymed. I just rhymed. This one is directed by Peter Sette.
Peter Sette directed Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, but where I knew him from and got my attention is a Netflix movie he did called Metal Lords, which I thought was fantastic. Really, he came in and he did a great job for us on the show.
Our guest today is the legendary Tim Meadows.
Is this my camera?
They're all your cameras. They're all yours,
Tim,
baby.
Tim plays Langston Fleury on this season. We're so lucky to have him join the cast. He was just an absolute joy to work with. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, everyone.
And as usual, there are spoilers, so if you have not watched this episode, go to HBO Max.
Oh, HBO Max. And watch it on HBO.
Just yell spoiler. Spoiler. And something will happen.
Spoiler.
We don't know. It's called HBO Max for the time being.
That's right.
Tim.
Yeah.
Man, we've actually known each other for a little while. Not well.
Yes.
But we met, Jesus, almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago, maybe
It's
even.
probably a little bit close to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
was it at Improv Olympics?
It was
Shortly after we were both born.
It was up.
Right, we were 12.
It was UCB, I believe it was.
UCB.
Yes.
I always mix it up. Yeah.
But there was an ASCAT show, which is like a long form improv show.
Yeah.
And they'll have a guest that will do a monologue, and then we improvise scenes based on the monologue. And James was there that night, and we had not met before.
Yeah.
And it was a really successful night, as I remember it.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And
I remember it being fun, and then we followed each other on MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace.
I asked him out for a date. He said no.
Yeah. I put him in my top friends next to Tom. And then we stayed in contact over MySpace for a while, and then MySpace was gone, and so was Tim Meadows out of my life.
Oh, well.
All right. How did you come to be on this show?
Well,
from your point of view. I know about it from my point of view, but how was it from your point of view?
From my point of view, I got a call from my manager. I was told that I was going to talk to you. You wanted to tell me to not pass on this role because...
Is that what I did?
Yeah, that was sort of your motive. I kind of got that. It was like you were convincing me that it was worth taking. You were saying, like, don't judge what you see in the first couple of episodes. There's a big arc for this character, but you're not going to see it right now.
Yeah, because you saw a couple scenes.
Yes, a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And so, we met, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I said yes even before the meeting.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I am going, why did I get on why don't we just say, do it?
Yeah.
But we had a really difficult journey with this character, one of the most difficult journeys I've ever had. We had hundreds of people audition for this role.
Really?
And nobody could get it right. It was the bird blindness scene. We couldn't find the guy, and finally we're like, I think we maybe just need to offer it to Tim Meadows and hope he does it. Because we've already spent our entire budget on Steve Agee, who's, renegotiated for season 2 and just gets paid all the money.
Well, if I would have auditioned, I wouldn't have gotten it either. Just out of respect to those people that did audition and didn't get it. I'm a horrible auditioner. I'm bad at it. I get nervous. I always tell my manager and agent, like, tell them if anybody's interested in me, I'm a worker bee. You know, I'd perform better once I'm there. Like, unless it's something that I haven't done before. Like, if you want to see me do a Jamaican accent or something like that,
Right.
then I'll go, yeah, I can understand it. But, like, I kind of feel like I've been around long enough that you can sort of, my range is not, I don't have much of a range. So what you've seen over the 30 years is what I basically.
What you're saying is you're exactly like Langston Fleury.
I'm fucking
What
horrible.
if they had asked you? What if they had asked you to dance for your audition?
Oh, I would not have gotten this. Are we gonna talk about that?
We got to talk about the dance. Well, let's
talk to everybody about.
let's
the
talk about a
dance
couple of other things first.
Your character has only one weakness, and that is
Bird blindness is called.
number. Bird blindness.
I can't tell the difference between one type of bird and another.
Okay, but a duck and an eagle are totally different sizes.
Yeah, well, they look the same size to me, man.
bird blindness. That's
Yeah.
right. This is maybe similar to like facial.
Yeah, some people have
blindness.
facial blindness, I
Right.
know. And so, how did you interpret that?
Yeah, I just tried to play it as real as I could. Like it was, I was really concerned if it was a real thing or not.
I'll bet you
That's
somebody
serious.
has it out there.
Well, dumb people who can't tell the difference between.
Yeah,
birds
yeah,
are-
well,
But it was really funny to play, and it was weird because I was always thinking like, something's got to come up from this.
yeah.
Like this little seed has got to play out somewhere along the line, and it does. It all comes down on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably never really come up in his professional career.
Yeah,
So-
it's never been a big deal. It's like he can't tell birds. He's walking in the park with somebody having a hot dog at lunch, and they're like, "Oh, look at those pigeons fighting over there," and you're like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
and you just downplay it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a really hindrance to you when you
and
have to
also-
fight an eagle.
And also, I confide in Ginger Cool like right off the bat, like telling him something, telling him a weakness of mine.
I do have a question. So, as you're writing this or coming up with bird blindness, do you picture him as if he sees a bird, he sees it wrong, or every bird looks like the same bird to him?
I think of it as like, when you see a fuzzed out face and the deep voice on TV, when
Yeah.
somebody wants to be anonymous, he kind of sees fuzz there. I think probably he had a traumatic incident with some type of bird when he was very young, which makes his brain just sort of black out
up.
around the
So
bird.
he's just
God.
guessing when he says a bird. He's guessing because,
Yeah,
they all
because-
look the exact
Yeah, when you
same.
put that fuzz on there, it just it kind of is bigger. Like, I don't buy that he 100% can't tell the difference between a hummingbird and an ostrich. Say, I think he would know an ostrich is big and a hummingbird is small, but I do think that there's a certain space there that just becomes sort of blocked out due to whatever a fucking bird did to him when he was young. But I do wonder, like right now, you're wearing a hat
I was
with
thinking the
a
same
bird
thing.
on it. Like if he sees a cartoon
Animated,
bird, and I would imagine, so like, my dog barks at every animal on TV.
Yeah.
He's got this animal instinct. And he sees an animal on TV, he barks at it. But it's not only like actual animals. Like if there's a topiary deer on TV,
Whoa.
he barks at it.
Topiary.
If there is like a rocking horse, he'll bark at it. If there is like, one time I was watching an episode of the great animated show Harley Quinn, and she was walking through a museum, and in the wall in the museum was a cartoon photograph in the background of a hyena, and he barked at that. So
It's got 4 legs.
yeah, if somebody's like in a bedroom and there's a velvet tiger on the wall, all of a sudden his head will cock and he'll start barking.
He also has the ability to memorize before something is going to happen. So if James is rewatching like edits of Superman while he's
Pavlov.
cutting it,
Every time he hears Superman whistle,
certain things, and
That's
he's like,
Pavlovian.
"Oh, the dog's about to show up. I got to run
he
into
runs
the
in
room
and starts
attack the
barking,
screen."
you know?
That's amazing.
and it was really funny at first. Our first dog did it, Lola, and she kind of taught him to do it. But when she did it, it was like funny. Because she
stops.
stands up and she barks, and then like you throw a blanket over her and she shuts up. But Ozu will not stop. Anyway, what I'm saying is there's something elemental that he sees anything that looks like an animal on TV, and so I think there's something elemental in his brain that blocks out birds. We didn't make a single structural change in the entire season. Honestly, I don't think we cut a single scene out of the entire season.
No, I don't think so.
The only thing we did was we exchanged the opening of, and it was HBO Max's idea, and it was a good one. I do listen to their ideas sometimes, where we have the origin of the doorway with the alien. And we see that Agee Smith is not, in fact, a genius. He just accidentally killed an alien instead of a deer. And they found this doorway, and they found this little box that controls it. And that's how he got access to the quantum unfolding chamber, not through any sort of, genius activity on his part.
That's so great.
And we don't know exactly how he made the helmets. We mention it later in the episode. We're like, oh, so how did he make the helmets? And Peacemaker says, well, it's a long story. Well, I have the long story in my head. It actually also almost made it in the season, but I just didn't have time for it. It's pretty cool. I'll tell you sometime. But anyway, so that's where we open it up. But that sequence was actually directed by Greg Mottola, because that was going to be at the beginning of episode 2. But we decided we needed more of Rick Flagg's backstory, and it made a lot of sense that this was at the beginning of episode 4, because we see the metal container that is the thing that controls the doorways.
I feel like it's a good time to mention we open every single episode with a flashback.
With the flashback. We go back in time for every single episode this season.
It's all our characters from our regular dimension flashing back from some moment earlier in their life.
And then we go into the dance scene, so that's good talk about that, because you struggled with the dance scene.
Man, I practiced too. I did. I practiced. And I'm not a dancer. I'm not a dancer.
You don't say.
I was the worst. And everybody.
Not true.
No, you weren't the worst.
I felt I was the worst.
You weren't the worst.
Here's what it was. You expected more of me. That's how I felt. Like, I should have been able to be better than the people who you would say were the worst dancers.
I think that's a Tim. That has nothing to do with it. We didn't expect anything out of you.
Yeah. But even that day, it was very frustrating, and I was really angry at myself. And you introduced me to Foxy Shazam, this lead singer.
Yeah, Eric.
And I couldn't even be like, hey, nice to meet you. Because I was so pissed at myself, and I felt bad
just
about
muttering.
I was just like, hey, nice to see you, whatever. And I just moved on and kept doing my dance practices and shit. But it was, I was horrible, and I felt so bad. And if I get another chance, I want to work at it much harder if we do it again.
You know what, though, Tim? You just come off like you're doing a much better job than maybe you did on the day, because you were so committed. There's some people who didn't do a very good job, and you could just tell they're like, I don't know what the fuck's happening.
I actually think this season people were pretty serious. I mean, Robert worked way harder this season than last season.
You cut to the end of the dance when we're all in the pile up. You are 100% the best person in that pile.
Everyone has their own individual, like, everybody's doing something different in the pile up, which is what I love. You're looking at the camera, almost scared.
It was uncomfortable.
Grillo looks like he's cracking up. I don't know what he's doing. And
I look like I'm dead.
Some people look totally dead. Rookers just looks bored out of his mind. Yeah, leaning on his thing. He was bored with the amount of effort he put into the dance.
That ain't nice at all, son.
Speaking of Michael Rooker, we get to see a little bit more of his character at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
You judge me for ridding the world of beaked vermin when you hit a little incapacitated Chinaman.
He just said he was from Vietnam, asshole.
Well, ain't that one of the places Chinamans come from?
Last season, we talked a lot about how we recast Vigilante. Well, we recast the character Red Saint Wild. He was another actor, was a very talented actor, great guy. It just didn't work out for various reasons. And so after we had shot most of his scenes, I called up my friend Michael Rooker. I said, I want you to come in and maybe, do this role for us. He said, how much money? I said, you'll actually have to pay us. And he agreed to come in. No, but he agreed as a favor to come in and do the role, and he did it in a short amount of time. And he's very very funny on the show.
Fun to work with.
Fun guy.
Really fun to work with.
Had you met him before that?
Had not met him before. And the great thing was after I met him, the first thing going back on the airplane, I saw Mississippi Burning.
Oh yeah, it's
On the airplane.
The airplane. Because it was maybe it was a Gene Hackman thing or whatever.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like a little bit later, but I was just like, holy shit. I'm sorry. I was like, oh my
you
God.
can say that. We don't.
Holy shit.
It's a Peacemaker
He's
podcast.
so good, first of all, and so evil.
Yes, so
You hate
evil.
him so much.
Yeah.
I was like, I just work with that dude.
Yeah, you love when Gene Hackman squishes his balls on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Movie. Yeah, that's great. I love Michael, and he was really did do me a solid by coming in and doing this role and giving it his all.
Yeah.
We have that whole big opening scene with everything kind of going nuts. You know, Steve, your character Economos is interacting with Null Lee's character, Judo
In the van.
Master, and that's not going very well. And then, strangely, over the course of the conversation, you and Judo Master almost team up against Red Saint Wild because he's so stupid.
Yeah.
But it also has my favorite moment in there where you turn and sort of pleadingly shake your head.
What kind of faces?
He winked at me.
By the way,
not tell on you to Sasha Bordeaux's character.
Yeah.
By the way, I want
was-
to add, season 1, we had talked about in one of our episodes about season 1, how I would get motion sick when we had filmed car
yeah,
scenes
yeah.
because of the rocking.
Yeah.
This was the first season where we shot with the volume, which was like the wraparound
Yeah.
LED screens.
Yeah, so what it is we put like the mobile unit, as you see, in the middle of the circle of screens so that you can shoot from anywhere inside. And it looks like we're actually driving down the street. So there's no traditional visual effects CGI in the scene. It's all in camera.
And I just wanted to say, I'm not the only one who gets sick in the cars because you and Soul
Yeah.
had real problems with that screen.
Yeah, and it was only during the turn because they wanted.
Yep.
We had to mimic when the screen was turning, and so I would be talking or whatever, and then the turn would come in. As I started to turn, your body, like your mind, is going, "What's going on out there?" Because you're not moving,
don't
but
feel
everything
anything
I
moving.
see is moving.
And how did you know when to turn?
Well, I would try to.
No, but we did it so many times.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's the street we're turning
Yes.
on.
Right.
You know, after
Because
like
in the
20
film,
takes.
it would go over into the right-hand turn lane too, and so I knew that's when. But then after we did it a bunch of times, I was like turning the signal on for the turn. and stuff. But no, but the first time, it's really weird to get used to. It's not like a roller coaster feeling or anything because, like I said, I think it's your brain going, something's weird going on out there.
Anytime the camera is shooting from the back of the van forward towards the screen, you would be looking, Tim and Soul would be looking at us, talking to us normally with their eyes open.
Right.
And when they would turn back towards the screen, they would both close their eyes.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we go back to Chris's, and he's being broken into by the whole group. All you guys and the Argus agents. Red Saint Wild is trying to kill Eagly. You're with him, Steve Agee, and you knock over Red Saint Wild, and he hits his head very violently on a rock. And you stop him from killing Eagly. You again, John Economos is an interesting character because he's such an incredible coward, and yet he always does the heroic thing
good
every
friend.
time. He's a good friend.
Can I ask,
Even to an animal.
can I ask a weird question?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the answer to this, but what was the eagle shit that he ate made of?
Eagle shit.
It was like
know
a
what it
kind of cookie dough type stuff, right?
I just remember I got really upset because
It was like icing.
Meringue or something.
It looks crunchy.
It was.
first time they brought it out, it looked like it was a bunch of ice cream or melted taffy or something. But like, it just looked totally fake to me. It looked like it was gushier, which is kind of grosser, but it didn't look real. I'm like, haven't you ever seen bird shit? Like, bird shit looks like this. And I went up and I looked up pictures of eagle shit, and I sent them like what it looked like. And it's still kind of weird in the way it snaps off. It's not. I was never 100% happy with it, but it was much better than it originally was.
It seemed like a Christmas cookie or something. That's what it seemed like to me. Like
Yeah.
It was some kind of like
cookie.
icing
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
situation.
I would eat it if it was you know.
Bird shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a time machine and you go
You
back.
know, I'd try it once.
Another eagle.
Yeah, a second eagle flew in the fast and boom.
And then he tells you that he's decided that Eagly is the prime eagle, and the only way to be forgiven for America's transgressions against its Native American population is to
Kill the
the
prime
prime eagle, which is only logical.
Sure, makes sense.
So,
Makes sense. It's coming out of Rooker's mouth, at least.
but then we go into one of my favorite moments, which is the scene between Economos and Fleury when you finally push him too far by calling him Ginger Cool one too many fucking times, and he spits in your face.
Yeah.
You are one curmudgeonly motherfucker, Ginger Cool.
Oh, what the fuck? I told you not to call me that.
Oh, so good. Such a good gag.
Yeah, it was really funny. Fun to do, weird to do.
So many takes.
We did a bunch of different takes, and every time I could not do it without saying "ow." And like, because somebody, and that's the thing we were laughing about, like, was that like if somebody spits in your face, you don't say "ow."
Yeah, you're like,
It doesn't,
what?
it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt either. Yeah. But I kept every take I would say "ow," and then I would go into my lines. Or whatever. And it was also weird to like the anticipation and like, because they'd have it set up and then to be like, okay, you see the guy with the blow dart off camera. And then
It wasn't even a blow dart. It was like they hooked up like an air pressurized machine that shot like a wad of like some kind of KY jelly type stuff. It was fucking gnarly, man. It was, and it was like really far away.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how far away it was, but it was like instant. So it was like high speed, high velocity, multiple times. It was like missing or hitting your ear.
Sent it. I was on set shooting Superman at that time, and you sent me the video of the take that we have in there, I believe. Yeah. In fact, they cut the first cut together, and it wasn't. I'm like, that's not as good as this take. And then I sent them the take that you had sent me, and that's the take that's in the cut. And oh my God, it was so funny seeing it.
You know, I'd never had to do something like that before, but it was weird. It was just weird, that anticipating moment of like, I'm gonna get hit in the face with something right now.
Yeah.
And I got to do it 20 times. You know.
You can't anticipate it on screen
It's
though.
so hard.
So you're like, ooh.
Also, like, I don't know about you, but when I first got the scripts, it's just described as you call me Ginger Cool and I spit on you. And so there were like probably 4 or 5 months leading up to us shooting this, and I never was explained like, no, you're not actually going to spit in his face. And I was always
So you guys were rehearsing at home, and you just kept spitting in his face every time? That's weird.
Tim, you want to come over? And then I got onto set, and there was this elaborate, like, Rube Goldberg machine of, like, spit.
I did it in the first movie I made. I have one character spit in another character's face. The character in my first film, Romeo and Juliet, the guy's name was Tyrone, you know, and from the play, and Tyrone spits in Tromeo's face, and we spit in his face. But I remember he also had an abscessed tooth at the time, and he hated the actor that played Tromeo.
Oh my God!
So he not only was an abscessed tooth, but was a big wad of phlegm that he shot in his face, and I got the shot of him shooting this like stinky phlegm splotch into his face. Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah, and I've seen other comedies and productions where you see the person spit, and I was like, I know Tim a little bit. I mean, this was our first time working together. I was like, I don't want to fucking spit
in this legend's face.
Yeah, this legend. This is the fucking ladies' man.
There in that same scene, we hear a little bit about Economos' backstory, just a snippet of it for a moment.
Oh yeah, she asked me to hack the keypad on the door to the unfolding chamber.
And you're waffling about it.
And I'm like stalling.
Didn't you hack into the CIA when you were 14?
I did. That's how I got recruited. Yeah.
So we know Economos was a black hat when he was younger that was recruited in the CIA to be a white hat and that's where he started. But he still has a lot of emotional issues. Also, as he says to Sasha, where he says, you know, I've got a lot of mental problems that are worth dealing with because of all
She's
my...
like, I don't get paid to deal with your shit. And I'm like, you kind of do.
Get paid to deal with my shit. Expressly get paid to deal with my shit.
Yeah.
Can I say also that was a really good acting in those scenes?
Yes.
Because it's a thing of having like acting against what you're saying, which is not easy to do all the time. So like the stalling is like the thing that you're saying that out loud is not true.
Right.
But what you're doing is the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa! Whoa!
What?
You guys hear a cat?
A cat?
Yeah, it sounds like a kitten crying out.
And like it was really good.
Thanks,
in
man.
that scene, and then in the next one too, where with the eagle, with Rooker.
Yeah.
Where you're explaining like, oh, this thing happened.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
what you're saying is not true,
Yeah.
and you play it like it's true.
Another eagle.
Yeah, making shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lying.
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 Like,
Lying is hard to act.
Like,
It is.
Yeah.
because you can't act lying.
Because acting in general is
Is
a
lying.
lie. I'm not a computer person, but it's a lie, and it's a
Yeah.
lie
Yeah.
within a lie.
Hey, fine, as long as we just go back and get the cat afterwards.
Now we go back to Chris and Adebayo, who go to the cabin. They move the doorway successfully to the cabin so that Sasha can't get into the other dimension, and she's confused. Peacemaker tells Adebayo everything. He tells her the story about how he has gone over to this other world, how in the other world it's a perfect world in his mind, where his father is alive and loves him, his brother is alive and loves him, and it seems as if Emilia Harcourt also is in love with him.
I think he calls that world the world of goodness and light.
Yeah, he says, I'm stuck. And it's sort of the central premise of this season in a way, which is the question of the season, where he says, in the way he looks at it, everything on the other dimension is good, and everything in this dimension is bad, and the only thing that's bad in the other dimension, as we learn a little bit more and more about that character, is Peacemaker 2. Is not a great guy. And we start to discover that. He is a burden upon his family in the same way Agee is a burden upon the family in our dimension. And there's a moment there where Peacemaker says, it's the way it should be, it's the good us. And for me, that's kind of the title of the season, is the good us. That's how he looks at it. And it really is this existential thing where he wants to go where he thinks he belongs in this other world. And then, Adebayo says to him,
no matter how green the grass is over there, our biggest problems in life are the ones that we carry within ourselves.
and God put you here on this place for a reason. And that's her point of view. So they have two very different point of views. And we're going to see those play out over the
But
rest
also
of the
legit
season.
points of, like, to us, obviously, and the viewer, but as, all of us in the normal world, on paper, him doing that shit is fucking crazy. But if you put yourself in his place, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, he is dejected by everybody. Like, he's a superhero in this other world. Like, a legit, team. And we saw him in episode 1, basically, auditioning for a team
that mocks him,
that make fun of him relentlessly. So
it's
Makes sense. And also,
completely legit.
in addition to that, he killed their brother and son. He feels guilty about having killed himself. in
Yeah,
another dimension.
he says it in the episode. He says, I have lived my whole life without, Keith, and that was the thing that robbed me of happiness, was losing this person who loved me. And now, Adebayo, you're telling him that he's supposed to rob, David Denman's character of Keith of his brother, and he doesn't want to do that, nor does he want to rob Emilia Harcourt's character of the boyfriend he thinks that she deserves.
Wow.
Thirst court, we call her.
Yeah, she is thirsty. That is
Thirsty. Speaking of Harcourt, we go to Harcourt as she's in yet another barroom fight, as she's been prone to do. That's her way of dealing with her issues, is to beat the shit out of people. And
Harcourt from our dimension.
Harcourt from our dimension, and get the shit beaten out of her. And then we have a really nice scene. I really, really like this scene. I think that you are amazing, Jen, in the scene between you and Rick Flag Sr., and I think Frank is fantastic. I think really, you can see what a good actor Frank is in that little moment where he walks into the apartment with you. He looks at the photo of you and Peacemaker and the 11th Street Kids on the wall, and his face tells you everything. You can see that, this is a guy who's been in front of the camera for most of his life, and, meaning Frank Grillo, and he just tells you a whole story by looking at that picture, and it's not something that you need to figure out. He's telling you with his face, and it's just an amazing little moment. And then this really kind of sad scene between Rick Flag Sr. talking to Emilia Harcourt, who was his son's lover. And
Emilia's confused when he comes to the door. She's a little bit like, what is he doing here? Is this a good thing for me? Is this a bad thing for me? She doesn't really know how to approach the situation. And so the way she decides to approach the entrance is just with as much professionalism as she can muster in this moment. Getting her ass kicked at a bar.
Yes, she's all bloody. I really feel for Emilia in that moment. I see, that what you did there, I was so surprised by, because that's not in the script, that she looks through, she sees the head of Argus, the guy that can give her a job, and that's all she gives a shit about right now. And she, just adjusts herself and tries to put herself together. And you see a vulnerability in Harcourt that you never see, a different type of vulnerability. Not just like a sadness or a connection or a love, but actually like, I need a fucking job and I need to impress this guy. And that's a very different side of her. And she's like that. And the two of you in that scene are great. Seeing her get upset about her utilities being cut off, which is a wonderful moment from you, where Frank is like, what, are you doing this for the accolades? And she's like, I could give a fuck about the accolades. I don't want my electricity turned off.
And she literally, she can't do anything else. She has attached her profession with her identity, so she wants nothing more than her job back.
Yeah. There's another interesting bit in the scene where he mentions, and we learn that his back has been broken, and what he's actually referring to, and he says it was due to Amanda Waller's bullshit, and what he's referring to is the moment that his back was broken in Creature Commandos, our animated show, by the character of Clayface when he was battling Clayface with Eric Frankenstein. But at the end of that scene, he kind of offers her the deal with the devil, which is, you can have your job back. Everything that you think is gone forever, you can have. But to do so, you have to give me the Peacemaker.
You have to betray
the Peacemaker. And so that's where we end the episode, except for with this, we end with this, the song at the ending, and then some wonderful dancing by some wonderful cultural appropriation of Native American dancing by Michael Rooker, a 70-year-old man who's danced for hours as we shot him and did an amazing job.
He really did. He really sold that, whole thing that he was doing.
Who turned to me and said, why is he such a better dancer here?
It's like he's a better dancer at that fire than he was for 2 days when we were shooting the opening number.
Yeah. He's not the best.
But also, I mean,
he prefers freestyle.
I think leading up to this moment, he's kind of a jokey character, but we see that he's legit. Like, he's conjuring up some shit and having a spirit.
He's kind of like a super villain.
Yeah, he's a super villain. He does sorcery. So we see sorcery for the first time in Peacemaker. We've seen a little bit of it in Creature Commandos in the DCU, but this is the first time we see any type of magic.
This guy actually can kill a fucking eagle.
He's a magic man. He's a magic man. So that's pretty cool. And then there we leave in a really dangerous place where Argus has staked out the park as Peacemaker drives to it. Harcourt is waiting at the park bench. She has told him where to go, and she has told Frank where to go. So that is where we end up. Now, the one thing we didn't mention is the alien's tiny penis and scrotum. That was some crazy visual effects up on the top. And
the alien from the
beginning. He's got a little tiny penis and a wobbly scrotum.
I think I was a little distracted by the entrails that were, you know, spewed out from the gunshot, but
it was gnarly.
It was pretty gnarly.
And now, Peace Thoughts. Welcome back to another edition of Peace Thoughts, where I share my unfiltered thoughts on moments throughout the series. Here we are in 204 at the cabin, and Chris is talking to Ads. What I love about their relationship, I'm sure James would have a different perspective, is they're like yin and yang. Like Peacemaker consistently saying, nothing is going right for me in the world. And Adebayo saying, the world is awesome, even when nothing's going right for her. And on the other side, Peacemaker does have some positives in his life. He just doesn't have the things that he wants, or he thinks he wants. But he really has it. But he's so pessimistic he won't see it. And then Ads is going through a dumpster fire, and she thinks she's a half-full thinker. And so I love when they get together because it is an honest hash out of, no, you don't understand, this is better. No, you don't understand, this is where you were meant to be. But this place fucking sucks. Yeah, but you can make it great.
Maybe the universe fucked up, Ads, you know? You know, maybe I belong in there and my asshole doppelganger belongs here. But some fucking cosmic occurrence switched us. So I end up in the dark dimension where I can't catch a fucking break.
I love the basis of choice in this show. It is the human condition to think grass is greener on the other side. And we have an 8-episode arc of that narrative, which every one of us gets. Must be nice. Every one of us has said, must be nice at one point. And Chris's journey, which is like the team's journey of, do we stay here where we are and make the best of the now and the present, or is the grass truly greener? What's it like on the other side? What a cool way to go through 8 episodes. From my lens, James might tell you different, but that's just from these two peacemaking eyes, motherfuckers. That's it for this episode's Peace Thoughts. Back to you, James, Jen, and Steve. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
We've never dived into Dee Bradley Baker. Should we talk about that at some point?
Dee Bradley Baker is the voice of Eagly. So every time you hear Eagly in season 1 or 2, it is not an actual bird sound. It is a gentleman by the name of Dee Bradley Baker. And if you want to see some fun videos, watch videos of him making the bird voice. I have to watch him when I'm, directing him on Zoom and turn off my mic because I cannot stop laughing at how ridiculous he looks making these bird voices. But you completely you never think that that's a human being when you hear that bird.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's really incredible. And I feel like he does such a great job of really communicating pretty specific thoughts and feelings from Eagly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Eagly, should we go to Eagly's airmail bag and answer some questions?
Let's do it.
All right. This first one, once again, we have a audio question from the DC Discord, and this is from Tilly. Okay, Tilly.
I know Tilly.
You do?
No.
Oh.
Hello. I'd like to ask how long it took to design and make all the costumes for the show.
Well, some of them took a long time. Most of the heavy work was done either on the Suicide Squad, where Judiana Markovsky designed the original Peacemaker outfit. Season 1, we designed Vigilante and Judo Masters costumes, and they did a terrific job on those. This season, we have Captain Triumph and the Blue Dragon, which is basically the original White Dragon's costume refurbished. It's a lot of work. I was just meeting with the writer and director of a forthcoming secret DCU project that we're doing, and they were asking us about VFX and how much it costs and how many VFX characters we can have, and then they were talking about the superheroes in the show. And I was like, the one thing you kind of got to be careful about is the superhero costumes, because they are really difficult to make. They're difficult to make look good, and they usually cost a lot more money than it does creating a CGI character. So you got to be careful.
You had a lot of issues with David Denman's costume, I remember.
Yeah, that's right. He showed up and I wasn't happy. I didn't like it, and I had Legacy come in and totally redo it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to written questions. This is from @LoveyGion. Okay, nerd. James Gunn said he would love Peacemaker to fight Batman. So to the cast, who in DC would you love to fight personally yourself or character?
Ooh, wow.
Tim Meadows famously loves to get into fisticuffs.
I do. Every production I've been on, I've had one fight.
You do, yeah, you do, yeah. You're known for that.
Who would I fight in the DC universe?
Who would Langston Fleury fight in the DC universe? Who would you like to see? I think Fleury's...
Green Lantern?
Wow, you're gonna get killed, dude. I think Langston... But wait, I think he's pretty tough. I actually think he's pretty hard. I wouldn't want to fuck with him.
Yeah. Here's my backstory as an actor. Because I always think, well, what who is this dude or whatever? And so my backstory to myself was, this dude must have did something really good somewhere along the line. So either he was really good with guns, or he did something spectacular. And so in my mind, he was just really good at like killing people, and he just didn't bother him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and all of the blustery talk of strippers and partying was like a defense thing of sort of like, I got this other thing happening in my life, so the things that I've done, I'm sort of burying it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to hear you guys want to fight in a second, but I would like, one of the things I like about Fleury in this season is he does take up the asshole position that Peacemaker was in season 1. Like Peacemaker is so beaten down and so vulnerable that he's not really talking about, sex and, offensive shit all the time.
Right.
And Fleury kind of makes up for him in spades.
Including the nicknames.
Okay, who would you guys want to fight? Jen?
Mine's pretty easy. I think I would love to see Emilia Harcourt fight Rick Flag Sr. at some point.
Oh.
I think that would be a really cool.
like to see
that would be a really cool showdown.
I'm not sure Frank Grillo's ego could take that.
Well, I can lose the fight. Emilia Harcourt can lose the fight. I would be willing to lose the fight if I could do that. He's such a legend, and he just flattered me so much by complimenting me on my action for this season. So that would be really fun.
Yeah,
just from like a selfish human perspective, Jen Holland would love to do a fight scene with. Maybe we can just team up and fight someone else. But
I mean, clearly, I could beat nobody, but just for fun, I would say. I mean, I think we established that it's not canon, but I would love to go against Matter Eater Lad.
No, I think we decided that Matter Eater Lad's canon.
Oh, well then Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think it'd be
an eating contest?
Maybe a pie eating contest. Where I eat a pie and he eats like an IHOP full of pies.
Okay, there's your answer.
So Green Lantern would kill Langston Fleury. Is that what I've been told?
Dude, I'm not sure Superman would beat Green Lantern.
Really?
I definitely don't think Langston Fleury is going to beat
Superman
Green Lantern.
probably beat
Yeah,
Green Lantern.
yeah, because he's Superman, but it's still a fight. It's a real fight.
It's a real fight. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The Gerbus on Threads says, for James Gunn, I love your music choices. What's a song you've wanted to use but couldn't get permission for?
I can think of one.
What is it?
Just a version of a song that you wanted to use. You were having trouble getting access to the original version of Mr. Blue Sky.
But I got it.
Yeah, but it was a
We had to pay a lot of money.
Struggle.
Yeah. We had a difficult time getting Mr. Blue Sky for Guardians 2, but we got it because Jeff from ELO wanted to use the re-recording, and it didn't sound like the original. There's one song I couldn't get for Peacemaker in the whole time, which is a metal song by a band that I like a lot, whose name is just eluding me. They're a really good metal band, but they had gone through, this was first season, they had gone through some changes in the band's lineup, and they didn't want to sell us a song from their first album.
To give the other person money.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
funny.
and it was really it was a crazy choice. They had no clue what was happening to these bands because these bands now they all have millions and millions of plays on all these songs that were on Peacemaker for a minute. But the only song that I really couldn't get that I really tried to get was a song called Russian Roulette by Lords of the New Church for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a song I love a lot. And it really was two different groups of people believed they owned the rights. So there was a warring legal thing, and I just couldn't get the song because of the legal rights. So we replaced it with the in the movie, which works really well, by the way. So maybe it was a good thing.
And finally, from @DiegoBuckzo on X, what were everyone's favorite scenes to film?
I'll go back and say my introduction scene in the van.
Oh, because you got to give him a good massage for hours on end.
Yes.
Same. That's the whole season. That's my favorite scene.
Because you got a good massage.
Yeah.
No, that was the creepiest thing I have ever had to deal with.
You got
on a
hours.
set.
You got your shoulders rubbed for at least an hour.
He says that I told you to give him a massage.
You did during the rehearsals.
Yeah.
You did.
I told you.
I watched it. I watched the dailies because Greg directed that scene. And I was like, oh, he's giving him a massage. That's a strange choice. Okay, that's weird. I like it.
We blocked it in the truck before. And you were like, go ahead, just like massage while you're talking to him. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That was fun to do, and
so fun.
It was, and as an actor, like it's like knowing it's your introduction scene too. I came into it going like, okay, I want to nail this. I want to show that this guy is cool. He talks shit. He's not afraid of anything. And the day before we shot that scene, I think it was, I hurt my finger on the door handle on the outside, and so I had a fear of that door. And so doing it on the inside, I don't know if you noticed it in the takes, but I go in and I do it, and then I slam it really hard and sort of turn my back really quickly because I'm afraid
of the door handle.
Yes, I was afraid of it, and it hurt like a fucker.
Oh.
But that was my favorite scene that I can think of right now without ruining any spoilers.
There were so many great things that we couldn't use, obviously, probably for time, but like you stealing my food while you're talking, my McNuggets, like. It was so fun because I've known you a little bit for a while.
For a long time.
I have wanted to work with you, and it was, for me, no pressure. I'm not being introduced, and I knew you would kill it. And God, it was just a really fun day.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Jen, what about
so
you?
much.
What was your favorite?
The scene with Rick Flag Sr. and me at this scene is a great scene. I really enjoyed working with Frank.
Frank is great.
In the whole show, gosh.
I know for me, and I'm not sure it's true for you, but there's something that in the 8th episode, give any spoilers, there's a big scene that's the most fun I've ever had. Ever on a film set, TV or movie.
Yes. I wasn't even working. I was just visiting set, and I was like, God damn, this
the
is
joy
great.
shows up in the footage itself. So I can't wait for people to see episode 8, even though we're only on episode 4.
No, which
I can't
one
wait for
you're
you to
talking
see
about.
it, Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, I say it on the day. It's on the film. It's my favorite day of shooting
yeah.
ever.
No, now I know. Now I remember.
Yeah.
I had so much fun doing this. Thank you for having me and stuff. But and also just I fell in love with Saul. It was so much fun working with her.
Yeah.
She made me laugh like all the time. Yeah, it was a blast. Everybody was so much fun. So thank you.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
She's
Saul
so
Rodriguez
different.
plays Sasha Bordeaux, and she
Yeah.
is
So
really
different from her
a lovely
character.
person.
Yeah.
She's nothing like Sasha Bordeaux in real life because she's just so sweet and so personable, and she's
Infectiously sweet.
infectiously sweet.
Yeah.
And she just like walks into the room, and you're like, I don't know you, but I'd love to hug you if that's okay.
Yeah. And she screams your name when she sees you the first time. Like,
Yeah.
Tim! I'm like, oh. It's like you just get happy when you see her
Yeah.
and stuff.
We didn't talk about Song Spotlight, though.
Oh.
So every episode we do Song Spotlight. We pick out one song that we really want to talk about, and we don't have many choices this episode because the only songs in it are the theme song, Please Don't Leave Me by Pretty Maids, which is in the background on the car radio when Adebayo and Peacemaker are driving. It's one of 2 songs by Pretty Maids this season. But I think we have to go with A Shot at Redemption by Heat. It is off their 2014 album, Tearing Down the Walls. They are a fantastic, another Swedish band.
Good Lord, James.
That was formed in Upland's Väsby in 2007. And they have a lot of great songs. I've always wanted to put one of Heat's songs in Peacemaker. And with that, we say farewell to our friend Tim Meadows, who's been a wonderful guest.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to say goodbye. It's been so wonderful to have you. Thank you so much for coming and doing this with us.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to work with you also. So
absolutely.
Not you so much.
Yeah.
No.
We'll be seeing each other around.
Yeah, Tim and Steve hate each other's
Just to be
guts.
clear for the people who are not watching, he was saying it was lovely to work with Jen. In our next episode, join us as we talk through Season 2, Episode 5, titled Back to the Suture. Michael Rooker, who plays Red Sane Wild, will be joining us in the studio.
Oh, no. Ask him about his racist acting.
We're going to confront him about that. We're going to get real and get to the bottom of where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Exactly. According to this, it's going to be a wild one, everybody.
Uh-oh.
Stream new episodes of Peacemaker Thursdays on HBO Max, and you can find this podcast on HBO Max, the HBO Max YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to check out new episodes of DC Studios Showcase, where Frankie, Tyler, and Coy will also be discussing Peacemaker Season 2. This has been a DC Studios Showcase presentation.
Peace out.
Peace out.
This was an OBB sound production for HBO Max and DC Studios, hosted by James Gunn, with co-hosts Jennifer Holland and me, Steve Agee. Executive producers for DC Studios are Phil Sopanides and Gary Barbosa. Executive producer for HBO Max is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for OBB are Michael D. Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Special thanks to, from DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. And from HBO Max Design, Tom Haskard, Martha Duarte Diaz, Ryan Cronin, Brett Krause, and John Northway. Producer, Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO Max is Aaron Kelly. Research producer, Jesse Holland. Associate producer, Tessa Bartholomew. Associate producer, Chris Stipp. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Studio coordinator, Elijah Matias. Director of photography, Chris Piper. First assistant camera and camera operator, AJ Knight. Gaffer, Arthur Garcia. Key grip, Jake Reeder. Sound mixer, Josh Falcon. Sound mixer, Darren Bowling. Post-production supervisor, Mariana Cristostomo. Lead editor, Jesse Holland. Editor, Louis Sinibaldi. Assistant editor, Mark Alcacid. Hair and makeup artist, Kendall Shannon. Director of Creative Development and Social Strategy, Lenore Castro. Senior Coordinator, Creative Development and Social Strategy, Sharif Bakari. Production assistant, Antonio Cavallo.
A Shot at Redemption. It's my assistant Michael's favorite song from the season. Correct, Michael?
Yes, correct. Tell your face.
Yeah. So there we go. And with that, we say farewell.